In this video, I will give you a complete overview of creating columns in MS Word document. Click File, New and create blank document. Look at this page. This is our standard one column page. Whenever we create a blank document, Microsoft gives us this one page document with these settings. Go to the layout, click here on columns and see in the drop down menu there are many preset options available. Go down and click on more columns, and in this dialog box you have all options to make your columns. So for example, let's make two columns of our this page, this document. First, see in the first column our width of the page is 6.5 inches. Now make this two columns page, and here it is the preview of our page. So the spacing in between these two columns is 0.5 inches, this in between space, and our left column and right column is of 3 inches width. 3 inches width. This left column is 3 inches wide and right column is inches wide. So click here on OK. See, now our document is of two columns. Now if you want to reduce this space in between two columns, you can go to the columns, more columns, and this space is given here, spacing. Under this spacing, click down arrow to reduce this space, and notice when we reduce this space goes up the value of the width of our individual column, like the left column and the right column. So click OK. Now our columns are a little bit wider and the in between space is narrower. Go to columns, more columns. Now we have seen this option available here. How it works: when you will click up arrow, it will raise the number of columns. Look here in the preview. Okay, the second thing we have seen is the width of the column and the spacing. This is the width from this point to this point, and this in between space is this one, spacing in between 0.3 inches. Now let's check what this option does with the column. So click it and uncheck this option, and you will see the now all values are now visible and editable. We can click here and we can change by clicking up arrow and down arrow. So when we click this command, this option, check it, you see now these are not visible, not changeable, and all width of all columns is equal 1.97, and spacing in between is also equal 0.3 inches, 0.3 inch, and we are unable to change column 2, column 3 spacing and width. So uncheck this value, and let's suppose you want to have your center columns width a little bit wider than the left and right column. First click here and make this page, change this page into these three columns. Now go back to the column settings, more column, and raise the value of the width of the center column. Okay, it is now 2.5, and reduce this 1.5, raise this one to 3 and this one to 1.5. So now our first column is of 1.5 inches, second column is of 3 inches, and third column is of 1.5 inches, and in between space will be 0.25 inches and 0.5 inches. Click OK and check how we change the and customize the width of our columns. Left column look 1.5, 3 inches the center column and 1.5 the right column. So go to the columns, more columns, and now check. We have seen how these presets work and how number of columns this option work, and how these width of the columns we can customize and change, and how we can change the spacing in between. And we also have seen the line between the columns. When we click here, it gives us a line in between these spaces between the columns, and when we click here, it equalizes all the width of all columns and spacing as well. Now here apply to whole document means all these settings which we have made here will be applied to the entire document. When you click this down arrow, it will open this menu, and there are two options at the moment: whole document and this point forward. Whole document means these settings will be applied on the entire document, and this point forward means where your cursor will be, it will add a section break over there and apply these settings after that particular point. So let's check these options as well one by one. And please notice one more thing, that when we will add here as a section break, it will add one more option here, and these will become three in this list, and that will be this section. So let's check all these three options. First we have checked this is the whole document, so our settings have been applied. Now this point forward and the section break, so click OK. Now let's go back and make it one column, and click here, go to columns, more columns, and select this point forward, make two columns or either three columns, and click OK. See, here was my cursor and I selected this point forward, so it made these three columns, which applies the settings of those three columns which we selected over there. Now go back and let's add some continuous breaks, and in the same layout menu you can add breaks, section breaks and page breaks. So I will add a continuous section break, so click here on the continuous, so it has added a section break here, and let's add one more for our experiment purpose. And now check it. This first section is of one column. Now we are going to apply the setting on this section, more columns. It is selected this section, and there are now three options available here in this section, and make three columns of this section of equal width and with the line. Okay, and click OK. See, this our selected section has been divided into three columns. So go back and now check the third option. Go to the columns, more columns, and now I will select this point forward. We have done the whole document, and now this point forward, and here we are going to add four columns. From this point forward, the entire remaining document will have four columns. So this is the column settings in the MS Word. We can change these settings and make our documents columns as per our choice. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you would like it. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video.